to accompany your presentation. Now, from experience and from the feedback that I have provided to a lot of you, there were a few issues with the slides themselves. You know, the content of the slides, the design of the slides, the grammar of the slides, the structure of the slides. Yeah, a few things were there regarding the slides. Today it's all about these kind of little matters. I know you might find it, you know, focusing on very specific issues, but this is because it's very common issues that we have as students. So get one copy, please. Get one copy. There will be much, you know, a lot of extra copies. So get one copy. Thank you. We will do a warm-up task, which is number 1. Can I get Michael to read for us number 1, please?
Just read it.
Yeah, just read it for us, please.
Yeah, 1.1.
No, 1 first.
1. Reasons for using visual aids. 1.1. Why it's helpful to use visual aids during an oral presentation. Discuss with a partner and make a list of your ideas in the space below.
Just in a couple of minutes, discuss why having visual aids is important when you are giving your presentation. Have 2-3 minutes in your groups to discuss together why it is important.
One thing is using meeting.
Oh yeah. Helps you remember the presentation.
We need to write down. Yeah. Make your can embed some pictures and put videos. Yeah, make videos. It's just to explain your points. And
You use the left hand to know more knowledge.
Okay, I know it's quite straightforward, but it is good to remind ourselves of why we actually do things. Okay, Jan, can you give us one of the things you thought about?
To assist to explain the points.
Help in explaining points. Help explain points. Okay, thank you, Jan. Andy?
It can have the audience know what they looking for.
Help the audience
More clearly about what.
follow the presentation. Okay? Jasmine?
Guidance.
Guidance for who?
For audience. For everyone.
Guidance for both. Okay.
Audience.
The audience and the speaker.
Yeah.
The guidance for audience and for speaker and audience. What else?
Sometimes one picture can be explained more than a paragraph or
Yeah, there's a thing in English, do you know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. There's a saying in English that says a picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay? What else?
I think it might be more attractive. Audience maybe prefer pictures rather than a lot of words.
Makes it more enjoyable and attractive.
Yes.
Okay? Enjoyable / attractive. If you want to present figures or diagrams, then obviously it's going to be very difficult if there's no visuals. So it makes it easier to present diagrams and figures. Yeah? So there's definitely a reason other than make you work for extra 10 hours at home. There's a benefit behind this, which is a few of them are on the board already. Any more?
help
These?
audience to take notes.
Help audience take notes. Okay. Help audience take notes
And review the presentation.
and review the presentation. Of course, it helps even the audience if they drift off, if they lose their concentration, and then they come back. If there's no visuals, coming back will be much more difficult than, with the visuals, will be helpful with the visuals. Okay? So, the visuals is sort of plan B or a backup for you. If you lose the attention of the audience, you can get them back to listen to you. Alright, so that was just as a warm-up to let us reflect on what we do and why we do it. Now, if we move on to 1.2, and if I can have Fahad read for us, please.
A and B are examples of visual aids,
Visual aids.
that two different students have prepared for a presentation about ways to improve their English. Which do you think is the most effective? Why?
Okay, so we have two examples of two slides prepared by two different students. Yeah, I want you to look at A, and I want you to look at B, and I want you to tell me which one is more effective and why, please.
B is more effective.
Take your time. Take your time. I'll get to you. Have a few minutes to think about it. I want you to read it fully. Does it sound familiar, Anthony? Okay. So I think we all agree that what?
E is effective.
B is the most effective. Well, it's the effective because there's only one A and B. Okay. Why, guys?
Clear.
Tell me what.
Just the key point. The key point is very clear.
Easy to get the information. What else?
Spend less time to read.
Less time reading.
Yeah.
Okay. Raymond, you want to say something?
Very clear. Just the key point.
Sorry?
Key point.
Very clear key
Very-
points.
Yeah.
What you need for presentation is not, details. You just need the key points to keep track of your ideas. Okay. Does this one look familiar to any of you guys?
Yeah.
Especially those who have paragraphs on their slides. Obviously, this is something to be avoided in the final exam. What else other than too much text compared to each other? What else?
Boring.
Boring. Okay. While this one, although still boring, but less boring than the first one. Okay. What else?
Hard to concentrate on the kids.
Easier to follow, easier to read, easy on the eye, helps the audience actually read. I like it when once I was having a discussion with Jason, and I asked him, do you think the audience will actually read this? And the answer was straight no. I like the honesty. So obviously the answer is no. The audience is not going to read it. If you want me to read what you have on the slides, encourage me, motivate me to do it because I need that motivation.
It's also not convenient for audience to take a look because it's not convenient.
Take time to find the key
Yeah.
points.
They need to summary by themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm coming here to listen to you, not to, think and, be troubled following your ideas. I'm here to enjoy listening to you rather than being troubled listening to you. Now, another problem that is a little more implicit or hidden, think about the structure.
Yeah, so complex. When you read it, you maybe cannot clear to hear the audience, hear the speaker.
Get the idea, yes. You cannot get the idea from the slides and you will not be listening
Yeah.
to the speaker, so failure on both sides.
No.
But if you look at it, what makes it even more difficult is the structure is not one.
Yeah.
Every point is a different structure, which makes it even more challenging to follow. While if you look at the other students' work, there is what we call uniformity or symmetry. Have you heard of these words? Somebody discovered something, guys. Uniformity meaning following one, system, one way, or symmetry. Like everything is similar to the other in a nice way. When you watch sometimes some decoration or stuff, you are amazed by how they are organized next to each other in a very, how can I say, one system, following one system, makes it easier to look at and to enjoy. Yeah? Okay, let's move on then. Number 2, and if we can have Jason, please.
Key features of effective visual aids. Good titles. Visual aids need to have good titles. A good title helps to focus the audience attention and prepare them for what the speaker is going to say.
Yes, so if we look back at A and B, look at the titles up there. Compare the titles of the two. Things that you can do to improve your ability in English. Compare this title to the title of Ways to Improve Your English. You can see the massive difference between the two. Are you following? I'm talking about visual aid A and B. If you look at the title, A is things that you can do to improve your ability in English, while B, what is the title?
Way to improve your English.
You can see how the title can, give total different impression about the presentation itself. So what we are going to do now next is 2.1 related to how we write better titles. Again, please, Jason, carry on.
Rewrite items into E to make them more effective as titles for visual aid. An example has been done to help you.
Read the example, please, first.
A. Reasons commonly given to explain why the climate is changing. Common reasons for climate change.
Do we see what we're doing? We're going to make titles which are, wordy, shorter, and to the point. Please, B to E. Try to work with them. the person next to you are titled. Quick look, or switch papers, please. Switch papers. Give your paper to the person next to you. Have a look at what they have written. Okay, you can return the papers. Did you notice the difference in the titles you had? Example, Kate, give us example of the difference you had. You can, yeah. Let's see how two people can have two different titles.
Me, I read International Business Benefits for Economics.
International business benefits for the economy.
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
the economy.
What is the other one?
She said economic advantage of international business.
Economic advantages of international business.
And go.
Is there a third difference? Okay. All right. Different.
The next one I think so. Just a little, because I use citing and she used witness.
Okay. You use what?
Citing.
Citing.
Yeah.
All right. And she used witness.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for those examples. Any other suggestions for this one? For B.
Profit from national business.
Profits from international business.
There should be
Okay. Sorry?
economy profits. I think could be that.
Yeah. But profits here is not used for a purpose. Advantages is wider than just profits. So if we change advantages into profits, we're changing a little bit of the meaning of the title. Which one do you think? International business benefits for the economic advantages of international business. Structure-wise, in terms of grammar and structure, the second one will be a little clearer and a little, more concise. So, economic advantages of international business. So you can see how changing a few things in the title can actually
The
make
second one, either the in front of the economy advantages.
Sorry?
The economic.
The economic advantages of international business. Economic advantages. Yeah, that will be even better. Yes, we will that. Yeah. Okay. But in titles, normally people don't comment on articles in general. Okay, see? People who have seen the Loch Ness Monster.
Witness of Loch Ness Monster.
Witnesses of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
Okay, difficulties that international students typically experience.
Difficulties of international students.
Generally,
General difficulties for international
Difficult.
students, difficulties
Of
of international students, what else?
Different experience of international students.
Parents.
Oh,
Experience,
experience.
difficulty, experience.
Yeah.
of
I think it's not.
It's some error.
Say what you said again.
Different difficult experience of international students.
Difficult experience. You've changed the structure a lot, which is not what we want to do here.
Yeah.
Okay. Difficulties difficulties faced by international students, possibly, rather than experience, because experience is kind of a long word, which means exactly here face. Yeah. So sometimes moving from a long word into a shorter word can make a difference. Okay. Or another technique, guys, that I want you to start sort of using is to use the column. So to have a broad title like now, this one is a very broad title. It's not good as a title for presentation, obviously. You have a presentation on international students. You have to write possibly a book of 90 volumes, 90 parts to cover everything under international students. So one technique that people normally resort to and they use is to have international students column, something like this. Yeah? So international students column common difficulties. Yeah? So that technique of using a broad title first with a column and then move to the more specific is a very common technique to give the title of the presentation without using a lot of words. Okay, now some of the ways in which culture can have an effect on advertising.
The effective of culture on advertising.
Effects of culture on advertising. Okay, why not?
the ways of culture effect on advertising.
The way, sorry, what?
The ways of culture effecting on advertising.
The ways culture.
The ways of culture affecting on advertising.
Wait. Let's have them on the board. So we follow. Sorry, Hannah, what was your?
Effect of culture on advertising. The effect.
Effects of culture on advertising. Okay. Raymond?
The ways of culture.
Do you mean the ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Of culture effect on advertising.
Of culture effects on
advertising.
advertising.
Culture or culture?
This you can take easily away and the meaning will not change. Yeah? But remember, we need shorter And they call it sometimes for titles, they call them punchy titles. Have you heard of this? Sometimes they refer to titles as punchy titles.
Punch.
Like punch, forceful. It has, force, it has power to it. Yeah? So you're saying the ways of culture effects on it, you've lost the power already by the end of, but when I reach the end of the titles. Why did you say effects of culture on advertising? The power is still there. Yeah? Sometimes if your punch travels a long way until you reach the target, this is when it gets weak. Your punch, for those who have practiced this before in the past.
Culture effects or cultural effects?
Effects of culture or cultural effects on advertising. Why not? That's another way of doing it.
Can the effects be a verb?
Can be a verb.
Sorry?
But I think the verb is not. The effect. What's the meaning of the effects when it's be a verb?
It can be a verb.
It's not typically used as a verb. It's always
So
better
here
to
is used as a verb.
I checked the dictionary. It can be a verb.
That's a.
Yeah, I see.
That's a different
I see, yeah. It should be the cultural effects. Or cultural effects on advertising, yeah. I see now what you wanted to say. Yeah. Okay. Now this doesn't only belong to titles, guys. Even the key points that you place on your slides, it's always better to shorten them and condense. You know the word condense?
Yeah.
What is condense?
Yeah.
Squeeze.
Just one meaningful sentence. What is condensed, guys?
Compress.
Compress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Puts a lot of things. Concentrate.
Yeah.
Condense. Concentrate. Compress. So it's always better anything that is put on the slide to be condensed. Made shorter and full of meaning and benefit behind it. In the presentation world in general, even professional presentations, actually in professional presentation more than academic presentation, they refer to something they call a technique. They call it, in designing slides, this is a technique, guys, that people use when they are designing their slides. Yeah, you will have sometimes, as you can see in number 3, key features of effective visual aids. Yeah. Before you read, what do you think this stands for? I know that somebody is reading it just from the paper. What does it stand for? Keep it short.
Short and simple. Simple.
Keep it short
and simple.
and simple. Okay. So what we will do now is we will practice with an actual text that we will try to, guys, what we will do the next exercise is we will read a short text and then we will change it to the form of a presentation. So we will imagine that we are giving a presentation on a short text. So we need to change the text from being a text into key points. Alright? And you have those papers in front of you. Just get one copy, please. You have the papers in front of you. sometimes they translate it as keep it short. Sorry to say, but sometimes people, when they translate it, they say keep it short. But sometimes. Of course, this is more angry voice. You know, rather than keep it short and simple, they keep it short. Okay. What are we doing now, guys? We're doing 3.1. 3.1. Jack, can you read that for us, please? 3.1.
3.1. Create a visual aid about ways that students can save money by applying the KEYS technique to the information on saving tips for students on the next page.
So we will read a text on saving tips for students, and we will change the text to be more suitable to our presentation. So we just present the key ideas using the KISS technique that we just talked about. So go ahead, guys, with the text.
We're coming to this later, can't you? We're doing this text, changing it into a presentation. Imagine that you are giving this as a presentation.
Okay, let's see. So we've got 4 key ideas. Let's see how you will put them for our presentation. Let's see the first one with Lydia, please.
First one,
Yeah.
stop buying unnecessary
Stop buying unnecessary things. Okay. Any other suggestions? Thank you, Lydia. Any other suggestions?
Stop impulse shopping.
Stop impulse shopping. Okay. Yes.
Think if it's necessary.
Think. Is it necessary?
Avoid useless purchase.
Okay. Okay. Stop buying unnecessary things. Stop impulse shopping. Think, is it necessary? Avoid useless purchase. Jason?
Find necessary to maybe more
Okay, so you're saying buy only necessary things.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So you can see there's a variety of ways to deliver the same idea in a short, concise, condensed way. Yeah? Now, if the problem is, we'll start with number 2. Depending on the style that you have chosen, you have to continue with the other points. Yeah? So don't put yourself in a place where it is too difficult for you to handle the structure. So let's see number 2 based on what we have here. And let's have Maggie, please. Number 2.
Minimize use of credit card.
Minimize use of credit card. Okay, I'll use a different color for this. Or actually, yeah, I'll use a different color for this. Okay. Any other suggestions for number 2?
Learn credit card responsibility.
Learn credit card responsibility. Okay.
Restrict a credit card.
Restrict credit card. There's something missing, which is the use.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Restrict use of credit card. Okay. Again, if you have chosen stop or avoid or buy, then minimize will follow as the same structure, yeah, using a command, which is stop, minimize, same. But if you have chosen think, is it necessary, then if I move to point 2 and then it comes to restrict use of credit card. This kind of
Different.
lack of symmetry, just, you know, it's not the way our brains function. Our brains like to see things in a very uniform way.
Can they use credit card strictly?
I thought you would say responsibly, because responsibly would be very excellent one here. Use credit card.
So first the word must be a verb.
Yes,
From the
because
structure.
you have to have the same structure,
Yeah.
uniform structure. If you have decided to start with a verb, then you know all the points that come on the same slide at least. Yeah. Don't give me number 1 with. Okay, I'll leave 1 there, just so we can follow what we're talking about. So if I have decided to say stop impulse shopping, yeah, then it is logical to say minimize use, yeah. But if I said stalking,
It's not right.
Stopping.
If it is stopping, it's not.
exactly. If you said, for example, stopping, then this one has to be.
Minimizing.
This is what I'm talking about. If you've decided to use a verb, then it is a verb. Use an ing, then it's an ing. If I've decided to start with a noun, then it's a noun. On all the points. Yeah? Okay. Number 3. Young.
Reduce the cost of entertainment.
Reduce cost entertainment.
Check public libraries.
For number 3.
Yes.
Okay. Check with the public library. What else for number 3?
Find free entertainment resources.
Find free entertainment sources, or even just find free entertainment. Sometimes just adding that sort of word, sources, at the end, you know, make it lose the power that it had before adding the word sources. Yeah? Let's move on to number 4.
But you don't have it out.
Cut your most.
Cut.
Cut most
Cut the-
expensive.
Cut bad habit out.
Yeah.
Bad habits out. Any other? I heard another one.
Cut most expensive habits. Yeah.
Cut your expensive habits, or cut.
Most expensive. Not you.
Okay. Thank you guys for correcting my grammar. Any other suggestions?
Cut your expensive. Straight through.
Your bad habits. Cut habit. that's a bit too short now. How about
save money from the expensive habit?
save money from expensive habits? Save money from expensive habits. The problem is with clarity. Do you mean from expensive habits? Is it expensive habits who make you save, or is it when you stop doing those expensive habits? Can you see where both meanings can work there?
Yeah.
If you say save money from expensive habits, do you mean through expensive habits you can save money?
It could be.
Make money.
No logic.
Clear.
Why have people will think about it?
No, sometimes if you do some expensive habits,
You
you might generate some money. You might make some money. For example, poker. If you're playing poker,
Yeah.
it might be an expensive habit, but it might generate some money for you.
It's a good choice.
Or if you're playing golf, for example, and you are betting with somebody else who's gonna win, so that's a different story. Or possibly rather than cut habits, normally we use what word with habits?
Give up.
Give up or quit.
Limit.
Don't have half solutions, Michael. Limit. Say cut or quit. Be strict with. Have a clear stance. Have a clear position with that. Okay. Any questions about this?
No.
Okay then, let's move on to number 4. And let's have Kate reading for us, please.
4. Key features of effective visual aid.
Parallel writing.
Parallel
This
writing.
is exactly the concept that we are talking about. Parallel, uniformity, symmetry. Yeah.
Parallel writing. In exercise 1.2, another reason why visual aid C is better than visual aid A is because it organizes its content using the technique for parallel writing. This means that your visual aid is the same throughout, i.e. you should use the same format, style, and the grammar for each point of writing. Go on.
Yeah, please.
4.1. Improve visual aid A by rewriting the context using parallel writing.
Okay, so we have visual aid A, not following the concept of parallel writing. I'd like you to improve that in the empty sort of box by using parallel writing. Okay. any suggestions for the first one? It's important to drink lots of water. Obviously, this is very easy.
Drink lots of water.
Next.
Eat plenty of fruit and vegetables.
You know, fruit cannot be
Plenty of.
pluralized, cannot be made into the plural. Yeah. So eat fruit and
Vegetables.
vegetables.
Do regular exercise.
Exercise regularly. Why, guys, do you want to add a few words? Exercise regularly. What else?
Don't eat salty.
Don't eat salt.
Have moderate salt. Have moderate.
You're going a bit extreme because they didn't say don't eat salt. Sorry. Reduce.
Too much salt.
Reduce too much salt.
Or use salt.
Reduce.
Use of salt.
Reduce the use of salt. There's still. I'm looking for a better structure. They are fine, but there's still better structure.
Have moderate salt. Moderate salt.
Have
Moderate salt.
Moderate.
Moderate.
I'm just now having it. I'm not saying this is the answer, but I'm having them on the board now. Having moderate salt. What was your reduce the use of salt? Reduce the use of salt.
Have less salt.
Have less.
Avoid
Less salt.
avoid too much salt.
Avoid too much salt.
Can we say just reduce salt?
There's something missing, guys. Reduce salt is fine, but there's something missing.
Reduce salt means if you or regular have moderate salt, you also need to reduce salt.
I comment
Yeah.
on that. But a better one possibly, rather than just reduce salt, reduce salt intake,
Yeah.
meaning consumption. Yeah. Now, moderate salt, you are describing the salt here.
Huh?
I'm sorry. If you say have moderate salt, as if there is immoderate salt and extreme salt and best moderate salt. So you are describing the salt itself rather than the process of consuming the salt. If you see what I mean. Yeah.
Have salt moderately.
Consume salt moderately.
Yeah.
Better than this would be. Okay. Last one.
Sleep enough.
Like a father talking to, or a mother talking to, okay, their children. Andy, have enough sleep, rather than sleep enough, okay. What else? Sleep well. Again, more of fog. What else, guys?
Sleep 6 to 8 hours.
Maybe good night.
Sleep 6 to 8 hours each day. Okay. Get enough sleep. It's better to be a little more specific here in presentation. So something like sleep 6 to 8 hours is better. Yeah? Because it is a little more specific than just get enough sleep. Because enough is something that is different from one person to another. And possibly you all have experienced that when you think you have enough sleep, but your father or mother insists that you don't have enough sleep and you have to go to sleep. So that tells you that enough is different from one person to another.
Sleep at least 6 hours.
Okay. Sleep 6 hours at least. Okay.
But it's sleep 10 hours.
This is another presentation, Andy, that we can have later on. Sleep 10 or 12 hours. That's a lot, Andy. That's a lot of sleeping in one day. Okay. By the way, it happened to me last Friday. Friday, guys, is the day for me because I arrived Friday absolutely exhausted and drained. So yeah, I got a bit of that of what you said, Andy. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, the last thing we'll do today, so guys, just push yourself, give yourself this final push for the final exercise that we will do together today. Referring to visual aids. Number 5, Hanadi, please.
Referring to visual aids, even if a visual aid has been designed using the techniques discussed in this unit, it can only work well if the presenter knows how to refer to it effectively.
So basically, what this part is saying, even if you have the best diagram in the world, the best chart, in the world, if you don't know how to refer to it on the slide effectively, you've lost, the value of what you have on your slide. So this is what we'll be focusing on. If you have chart or diagram, how to speak about it effectively. Yes, please.
You will hear 3 short excerpts.
How do you pronounce this word, guys?
Excerpts from a presentation in which the speaker refers to a visual aid about international students
recruitment.
The visual aid itself and the transcript of each excerpt are shown below. As you listen, fill in the blanks to complete the missing words.
I'll give you a couple of minutes to read them first, and then we will watch the presentation. Read them first, please. Read A, B, C. It's referring to this diagram at the bottom.
Just one word?
No, there really is definitely more than one word, yeah. Ready, guys? Maybe.
Increase in our international student memberships.
Right. Ready, guys?
As I mentioned earlier this year, we've seen a considerable increase in our international student memberships. Let's look at which countries these students are coming from and which clubs and societies they're choosing to join. This graph represents the international students currently studying at the university. The vertical axis represents the number of students, and the horizontal axis represents their country of origin. As you can see, most international students are coming from 4 key areas: China, Japan, Nigeria and India. As the graph shows, the University Travel Club is still the most popular society for international students, particularly for students from China and Nigeria. But I will also draw your attention to 2 other societies, the Student Debating Group and the Drama Circle. As the data here indicates, the Student Debating Group is popular choice with Indian students, and the
I'll play that again, guys.
As I mentioned earlier this year, we've seen a considerable increase in our international student memberships. Let's look at which countries these students are coming from and which clubs and societies they're choosing to join. This graph represents the international students currently studying at the university. The vertical axis represents the number of students, and the horizontal axis represents their country of origin. As you can see, most international students are coming from 4 key areas: China, Japan, Nigeria and India. As the graph shows, the University Travel Club is still the most popular society for international students, particularly for students from China and Nigeria. But I will also draw your attention to 2 other societies, the Student Debating Group and the Drama Circle. As the data here indicates, the Student Debating Group is popular choice with Indian students, and the
Okay. Excerpt 1, Raymond, please.
Let's look. Read the whole sentence.
Okay, yeah, please, the whole sentence.
As I mentioned earlier, the year we have seen a considerable increase in our international student membership. Let's look which country these students are.
Let's look at.
Yeah.
Let's look at. Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Let's look at. Yeah, carry on. Please.
Let's look at which country these students are coming from and which clubs and societies they are choosing to join.
Okay, thank you. Andy, please. 2.
This graph presents the international students currently studying at the university.
This graph represents. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Carry on, Andy, please.
Another, I didn't get.
What's the next one, guys?
Where is axis?
The vertical.
Vertical.
We know this word, yeah?
Yes.
What does axis mean? Yes. Axis X and axis Y. Yes. Okay. So the vertical axis represents, and this is important, guys, if you are presenting something, with 2 axes, it's very important to tell us which is which, yeah? So this one represents what, and this one, represents what. Okay? So the vertical axis represents, then we have the horizontal axis represents, and then as you can see. Next.
As the graph shows.
As the graph shows. Next.
But I would also draw your attention to.
But I would also draw your attention to the last one.
As the data high indicated.
As the data here
indicates.
Using these kind of specific expressions or phrases help a lot in explaining, and showing the meaning.
Here.
Now what I want you to do, guys, is just to enjoy watching it. I'll play the video and just watch the person and watch the video and forget about the exercise, okay?
As I mentioned earlier this year, we've seen a considerable increase in our international student memberships. Let's look at which countries these students are coming from and which clubs and societies they're choosing to join. This graph represents the international students currently studying at the university. The vertical axis represents the number of students, and the horizontal axis represents their country of origin. As you can see, most international students are coming from 4 key areas: China, Japan, Nigeria and India. As the graph shows, the University Travel Club is still the most popular society for international students, particularly for students from China and Nigeria. But I will also draw your attention to 2 other societies, the Student Debating Group and the Drama Circle. As the data here indicates, the Student Debating Group is popular choice with Indian students and the...
Okay, so I'll give you the language that we covered with a few more examples on papers here. So get one copy, please. Get one copy, please.
Get one copy, please.
So the phrases used, guys, are on page 44 at the top, with some extra examples of phrases that you might like to use to refer to your business. And I'll do this one. Okay. Again, guys, what is here in this box is just a few examples of language that you can use to talk about visual aids, graphs, diagrams, charts that you select to have on your slide. Okay. Now the last thing that we will do, because the last thing we've done already, so is just to listen and watch another person. I think it's the same person, but another recording, another part, used to refer again to some visuals, some diagrams. Okay.
So now let's look at how international students spend their leisure time. This table provides an overview of 200 students from Newtown College in 2007. As you can see, the first column, the column on the left, shows the student's country of origin, and then the 6 columns on the right provide details of their different leisure activities. And then
have you seen how he introduced the table? Yeah. So he talked about the column, the first column on the left, what does it represent, and then what the 6 columns to the right represent. So that's important when you introduce tables or diagrams.
And the 6 columns on the right provide details of their different leisure activities. The points in bold represent the most popular activities for each ethnic group. As this data shows, playing computer games was rated as the most popular leisure activity for Chinese students. For the Japanese, on the other hand, the most popular activity was shopping. The Nigerians said that they liked playing sports best, and finally the Indian students responded that their favourite...
I don't know what song it is. What do you think the Indians' favourite?
Meeting friends.
Meeting friends.
Chinese
guys.
computer.
You like computer games, is this right?
No. Yeah.
No.
The game is free.
Any questions, guys?
The exam tomorrow will be the same as the address.
Building 4. We'll go to the old room. I told your friends before you came about the long story that happened, and the reason why we moved to Lecture Theatre A. There was a few problems. This is why we moved to Lecture Theatre A, but we're back to Building 4. Yes.
When we learn our present subject, presentation subject.
It's test first, right?
Test first. It's based on your but let me see, is it on Blackboard? It should be on Blackboard already. Guys, you can pack your stuff. Get yourselves ready to